Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. It's good to see all of your smiley faces. We're doing a special afternoon episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Yes, we're going to take you to beautiful sunny Florida and the Hermitage Artist Retreat, which is in the Sarasota area. And our very special guest, CEO and Artistic Director, Andy Sandberg, is going to be joining us in just a moment. It is so nice to see all of your smiley faces from all around the world. This is our entertainment lifestyle talk show series where we are bringing back the lost art of conversation. And we've done over 400 episodes plus live, which has been really cool and quite amazing. This is born out of my professional work in television, radio, stage as a TV and radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist, and then some. And been doing it for years on networks and TV stations, radio stations, production companies, stages, and more. And about a year ago, coming up on our 1 year anniversary at end of April, early May of this year, it'll be a 1 year anniversary of the Jim Masters Show Live, JMS Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series, where we are bringing back the lost art of conversation. We have guests that come in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, and everything in between, and from all around the world. And we always have a good time on the Jim Masters Show Live. So many people tell me they enjoy the atmosphere, they enjoy the vibe, light, love, and levity, or in our case, we call it lovity, because I accidentally said love and levity too fast in the summer, and all of a sudden the word lovity was born. Our viewers call themselves the Lovities. That's why you see us talking about lovity so much, either on the show or on Facebook and everywhere else, Instagram, Twitter, at Jim Masters TV. And so they're the Lovities. You guys are the Lovities. I'm Mr. Lovity, according to our viewers. They call this Lovity Hall. We are in the greater New York area, between New York and Boston on the scenic southern New England coast, where it's an absolutely stunning, beautiful day. An absolutely stunning, beautiful day here on the coast. We are just a couple blocks from the ocean, and we're blessed being where we are here. It's just stunning and beautiful. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. This is the third day for me post second dose of the vaccine, and everything is going according to plan. Everything is great. We feel terrific. Again, we had the second dose of the vaccine on Wednesday. So this is Saturday. And other than some tiredness, maybe the day after, maybe a little achiness, that's about it, really. On the day after and maybe a little yesterday, everything's great. And it's about 2 weeks from now, we'll be fully protected and good to go. We can finally get out there and visit more of our relatives and gather a little bit more, still with, the social distancing, the masks, the things we need to do until we're all really ready to go. But so we've done what we've done, and we're happy about that. And hopefully you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we also have a Facebook group. Well, you can find me on Facebook at Jim Masters TV and Twitter and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to also find our new group we have that is for JMS Live, and that is JMS Live Lovity Hall. That's right. Since you guys call this Lovity Hall, we have a new Facebook group, and a lot of you have been joining it, and that is, again, JMS Live Lovity Hall. You can find it on Facebook. It is a group, and everybody is welcome. Good to have you guys here. We are going to check in and see how some of our Lovities are doing, and then in just a second, we're going to welcome Andy live from the Hermitage Artist Retreat in just a second. Beautiful spot where he is. We actually have some visuals and some really cool visual to show you of the this incredible place where artists of all kinds go to think, to grow, to retreat, but also refresh and to create. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Hello from San Diego, and Dante CD is here. Good to see you in beautiful San Diego, where it's just after noon, right? A little after 3 p.m. Eastern here, but for you, you are having lunch. Good to see you, Dante. We welcome you as well. Of course, we invite you to subscribe. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be great. So many of you have, and those of you who have, we thank you very much. That really helps the show big time. It helps the channel, and it allows us to continue to bring you these daily live exclusive and unique episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. So subscribe to Jim Masters TV on YouTube, share it, tell everybody about the channel, tell everybody about our amazing, unique series, and click the notification bell too, so you don't miss any of the amazing content we have for you, our daily live episodes. I know a lot of you like to be here live. Some of you watching the archives. Some of you have called me a very bingeable Mr. Lovety. I guess these episodes are very bingeable, and many of you do watch later on, and we appreciate that. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We would really love that, and love you even more. And I don't know how that could be, because we love you guys already to the max. Hello, everyone. Have a nice show. Willie is watching from the Netherlands, where it's earlier for her than it normally would be. Want to let you know as well, tonight we've got an amazing guest live from Hollywood, California. The extraordinary, legendary actress Lee Purcell is going to be here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow, Ryan Kelly, live from Ireland, from Celtic Thunder, and Vernon Kelly. And then tomorrow night, comedic legend Judy Tenuta is going to be here live from Hollywood as well. So busy weekend of double Lovety each day just for you on JMS Live. Good afternoon, Jim, one and all. Mr. Lovety, welcome, Andy. You're now a Lovety. I told him all about the Lovety, and he's excited about that. Willie sends tulips. And hi, Jim and Lovety friends from Merlin, who's watching in Canada. Juanita is here from South Africa. Hello, Jim and Lovety squad. And happy Saturday. We welcome Merlin from Canada and Juanita from South Africa. Nice to have all of you here from all around the world. In Florida as well. And Wozniak is here. Hello, Jim and Loveties. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. You've been laughing all day watching reruns of the Beverly Hillbillies. Talk about classic TV. Well, you know, people have been hearkening back to more simpler times through COVID and everything, you know, classic movies and going out into nature and doing whatever, you know, they need to do. We've watched a lot of Dick Van Dyke reruns and Lucy and all the rest over the last many months. Hey, Jim, hope you're doing well. Hi, everyone. Kathleen Walker, who's in New York City. And I know you work for the New York Mets, our team, and you are hoping that when we have the anniversary show, you will be available and not at a night game at Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, New York. Hopefully that'll be the case for you, Kathleen. Hi, Jim and all Loveties. Gary Troy is watching in Iowa. Really, really nice. And all kinds of wonderful emojis from all of you. You guys are the best. And Claudia Bartow is here. Hello, Jim and Loveties. Hope you're all having a good Saturday, spending my weekend with family. Yes, and our Lovety family here as well. Claudia, nice to have you here. Nothing tops family, right? Kathy Short, hello, Jim and Loveties. She's watching. She says, nice to be here again. She's here every show, and she is watching from Cleveland, Ohio. And many, many more watching from all around the world, and many more will be joining us later as well. Some watch live because you want to participate, and some watch some folks, some of you guys want to watch this later on too. And the Facebook page for the show is JMS Live Lovety Hall. It's a group as opposed to being a page. My page is Jim Masters TV. You can find me on Jim Masters TV on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch. And of course, our show is on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. But the group for JMS Live is JMS Live Lovety Hall. And Gary says the Mets are his team as well. Gary in Iowa. How does that fly in Iowa when you tell your neighbors in Iowa that you like a New York team? I hope that's okay there. Good to see you with us. We've got an amazing guest, as I said. I love this shot. This is Andy Sandberg, Tony Award-winning producer, director. This is when he was getting the Tony as well. This is his new life. paddling the waters of beautiful Florida. These were sent to us specifically there at the Hermitage Artist Retreat, which is a stunning, stunning place. And we're very honored to talk about it and share it with you, because you're going to really enjoy it. And if you've never heard of it before, and I've been very aware of it, working in the industries that I work in, it's an absolutely epic place. And Andy was appointed artistic director and CEO of the Hermitage in 2009. He's an accomplished director, writer, Tony Award-winning producer whose national and international career has been committed to new work and artist development. And he was selected at a nationwide search. He was selected to lead the organization following that search. His theatrical work has been represented in New York City, London, and throughout the United States. 2009, at the age of 25, became one of the youngest producers in history to win a Tony Award. His Broadway and West End producing credits include the hit revival of Hair. That's right. Tony, Drama Desk, Drama League, Outer Critics Circle Awards, and Broadway revival of Gore Vidal's The Best Man, starring James Earl Jones, Angela Lansbury, John Larroquette, Candice Bergen, Eric McCormack. Amazing, right? Tony, Drama Desk, Drama League, Outer Critics Circle nominations for that. Willie Knows the Realistic Joneses, a critical acclaimed new play starring Toni Collette, Michael C. Hall, Tracy Letts, Marissa Tomei, and so many others. Another brilliant production. He recently directed the London premiere of Sheeta, which opened to rave reviews and earned 2019 Off West End Award nominations for Best Musical, Best Director, and Best Lead Actress. His career is absolutely incredible, and we can go on, and I will tell you a little more as we sprinkle it in, and I'll have Andy tell you a little more too. But we are very excited again to have him live and direct from his new home, the beautiful Hermitage Artist Retreat, which is a very, very special place. Let's welcome him to the show from Florida, sunny Florida. Andy, welcome to the show, my friend. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for having me with you. You don't see it behind me, but you showed some of the photos. Yes, I am down. The weather's looking great. I just didn't want you all to be backlit. I do have one slight correction, which is
sure.
I started here in 2019. Not 2009, I was in a different world up in New York, so only about a little over a year and a half ago.
Wow. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So this was a nationwide search for the artistic director and CEO of the Hermitage. Tell us about that, because, you had this wonderful career in New York and involvement with Broadway and off-Broadway and all these great productions in London and West End. And, that's your heart. You've definitely put your whole heart and soul and career and education experience in theater and theatrical performance. How did this all happen? Where all of a sudden now here you are in Florida heading up this incredible and invaluable organization?
Yeah, no, that's a good description for the Hermitage. So I'm biased, but I agree. I've always been kind of a multi-hyphenate, juggling my work as a director, writer, producer, and performer once upon a time, and really passionate about new work. I did have the honor of working on Hair and Best Man and a couple of brilliant revival productions, but my true love and passion has been the development and creation of new work, plays, musicals, comedies, dramas. I love being part of that rehearsal room and that process. And I've always been in the freelance world, kind of straddling projects between the commercial and nonprofit space. And I started as a performer way back when, and continued as a director and writer. And when you're directing and writing, you're also producing by necessity. I think every writer or director understands that to some extent. You have to self-produce your work to get it to a certain point, and hopefully it tests how much you believe in it before you're asking others to believe in it with you. And the freelance world is either raining and pouring, or quiet, and you're looking for something a little more active. I've never been not busy. I'm a little bit of a workaholic, I suppose, and always juggled a lot of different projects. So when this opportunity came up and they were doing a search, I happened to actually be at a very busy time. I had a lot of different projects active, and I was working on Sheeta that you referenced over in London with the amazing Jeanette Bayardelle, and had some other things lined up for New York and London. And this was pre-pandemic, so none of us knew that a lot of that was going to sadly be on hold for a little bit.
Yeah.
But so I was asked if I'd throw my name in the ring. And as I learned more, I knew of the organization, and I knew what a rich and vibrant arts scene that Sarasota had, because years ago I directed a workshop at the Oslo Rep, which is one of our partners and neighbors here in the area. And so I also love the beach, if it isn't evidenced from some of those photos you shared. I love the water. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, but I said to the board, like, if we can make this work, that I can still have a foot in the freelance world. You know, I'm not ready to give up the rehearsal room, but the more I dug into the Hermitage, the more I really appreciated there aren't many organizations that truly support that earliest creative process.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of organizations that present the premieres or the first gallery showings or the first debuts. But what's happening here is we're supporting artists across all different disciplines years before. You know, it's often 6, 8, 10 years before there is a premiere. Someone is working on that. They're creating it. They're writing it. They're thinking about it. And that's really what this organization is all about, and kind of what is our distinguishing factor among our presenting partners and producing organization colleagues. And we partner with everyone for that reason. So I loved that aspect, having been in those trenches where you're having to kind of self-produce and, you know, hustle your readings and workshops and develop your work. To have an organization that is committed wholeheartedly to lending support to that, what I think is one of the most creative and exciting stages of the process for artists in all disciplines, that, you know, nascent developmental incubator stage. I just got more and more entranced with the idea, and also saw an opportunity for, you know, the Hermitage property dates back to 1907, but the organization, as we know it as a nonprofit, was incorporated in 2002. So it's a relatively young but accomplished organization, and there was only one director prior to me. And so I saw an opportunity to jump in and look at the next chapter. You know, let's figure out what is the next wave, the next element of this Hermitage life. So that's also been exciting. And this was, again, pre-pandemic, but we've found and overcome other challenges in the past year.
So the folks that come there, what are some of the incredible backgrounds that they come from? And do they come from primarily just the United States? Do they come over from other countries as well? How's it all work?
It's a good question. No, we have artists internationally. It is primarily United States-based artists, but we do bring in artists from around the world. And we are multidisciplinary. So it's theater artists, but it's also music artists and composers. It's visual artists, painters, sculptors, fabric weavers. It is artists working in literature, poets, novelists, nonfiction writers, screenwriters. So we have people across, photographers, you know, really all mediums we serve. And I think that's one of the cool things about it. We don't have any playwright week or composer week or painter week. You have this intermingling, and we only have 5 to 6 artists at any given time. And the way the process works is separate from the board and separate from the staff. We have a National Curatorial Council, they're called, even though there are some international members. And that's made up of 14 reputable arts leaders in their respective fields across all these different disciplines, who are encouraged to think of artists who are kind of on the precipice of what's next, artists who are excited about building bold and impactful new work, artists who are not necessarily looking for a vacation or, you know, a retirement. That's one of the myths I like to overcome. People hear Florida, they hear on the beach, they assume that, you know, artists are coming here just to chill out. And I think they do get to enjoy that. But what we hear over and over from artists is they get more done in any 2 or 3 weeks than they do in 2 or 3 years back home. There's inspiration and magic here. But backing up, the curators, which is a rotating group, they each have 3-year terms. And these are people running organizations like the Live Arts program of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or in the theater world, you may know Mandy Greenfield, who runs Williamstown, and Chris Burney, who runs New York Stage and Film, Emily Mann, who was running McCarter. In the visual art world, Valerie Cassell Oliver, a wonderful curator and contemporary art director. The list goes on and on. The first curator was Joe Malello, who many might know, attached to BAM and was running BAM. And he just knew and knows everyone. So was kind of the beginning of that spiraling web of brilliant artists and curators who try to identify people who will benefit from this experience and whose work will be elevated. That's kind of our goal. It's not about finished work product. Anyone who comes here, our hope is that they're just elevating their own artistry and their own work, not necessarily showing us what they finish at the end of that.
So I was mentioning to you that I had the great pleasure and honor and luxury of attending the Goodspeed Musicals Writers Colony, which happens, as part of the beautiful Goodspeed Opera House and their musical productions. And that's in Essex, Connecticut. And they have these buildings that I have seen a million times that I thought were just these wonderful, beautiful homes that people were very lucky to have across from the Opera House and the Connecticut River and just there in that Ivoryton, Deep River, Essex area of Connecticut. And it turns out these homes are used for, this writers colony that is done certain times of the year versus something you can go to constantly. And I was invited to go, and we spent a couple of days there, and it was really beautiful to witness artists who were writing and creating productions and plays and other things, and sort of pitching it and practicing it and working through it in front of other artists who might not be a part of their production, but were giving advice and suggestion. And let's work through this, and let's help with yours, and then you help with mine, and that type of thing. So it was really cool to be involved and see all of that. How does this work with the artists that come there? Do they collaborate? Do they commiserate? Or are they going there to have some alone time and time to really be away from, the noise and the chaos of life and focus on whatever their projects may be?
The truth is, it's a hybrid. We've had artists come here, and I think a lot of them sometimes come with an agenda. They think they're going to finish this or, accomplish X. They come with their list. Some come completely open-minded, but most say that they end up shifting when they get here. They think about, they experience the atmosphere on the beach and exploring, picking up shark's teeth and looking out at the historic old Florida properties. And that doesn't mean their work becomes about the beach or Florida nature necessarily, but it creates this kind of, the word we hear most often from artists is magical. Second is transformational. And those are a little bit ethereal words, but common feedback we get. And so often we hear stories of artists who, they come here and they said, you know what, I thought I'd be coming here to sort of finish or proof my latest novel, or, put the touches on this project. And then I actually was inspired to start my next great work, and so you end up with artists. I mean, we've had over the years 12 Pulitzer Prize winners, many Tony, Grammy, Emmy, Oscar winners, and more, poets laureate, people who are truly visionary and accomplished in their field. And a lot of those ideas have been sparked at places like this, and it's really thrilling as we're starting to go back and track some of the impact of that. So in terms of the collaboration, though, we don't force it on anyone. One of the things that I think is unique about our artist residency setup is that people are kind of individually curated, and they really do get a custom experience. So they get gifted 6 weeks to use, or 4 weeks, depending, over 2 years. And they can break up that time however they need to, based on their personal and professional needs, in weekly increments. So if somebody is working on a bunch of productions, or they have exhibits coming up, or they have family needs going on, they can say, I want a book over the next 2 years, 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there. So that's fun for us because we see their projects evolve. And when they're here, we don't have a rigid, okay, you work these hours, you go to a studio these hours, you sit down for a meal these hours. Nothing is obligatory. We offer welcome meals and gatherings, and we offer settings for that. And we also tell them they've not required to, show up to any of those if they're in a workflow. And I think the artists appreciate that. But what has happened organically is a number of collaborations because of there's not a competitive nature when you're working with people across different disciplines. One of the stories I like to tell about collaborations that emerged from the Hermitage, we had a classical contemporary composer, a multimedia artist, a sculpture and fabric weaver, and a poet. And the four of them met here about a year and a half, 2 years ago for the first time. Only two of them even knew who the others were. And they met here and they started hanging out every night and trading ideas. And since then, they have met every week on Zoom at least, and they were meeting in person whenever and wherever they could. And they have a project that's in development now together, the four of them, with the Kennedy Center. So that's just kind of one of the cool stories of many that has come out of that, optional collaborative nature. But people do, in non-COVID times, people share a kitchen. They cook meals together. They break bread together and share ideas and conversation. And even now, we try to facilitate that outdoors and socially distanced where we can.
So when they do come, they're there for how long?
So normally it is 6 weeks over 2 years. And I say normally 6 weeks because the last couple of classes were offered 4 weeks because of COVID backlog. We weren't shut down too long, but we did have a couple of months there that we had to, close our residency doors. We thankfully were able to reopen socially distanced in June, but we had to do some upgrades and repairs to make that possible. So 4 to 6 weeks.
So you're in the Sarasota area, right? Which is quite beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're about 45 minutes south of downtown Sarasota, but we are part of Sarasota County. And it's nice because we're not in the hustle and bustle of downtown, but we are connected fully to the arts community there. We work with all the major arts organizations as our partners: the Ringling Museum, the Sarasota Art Museum, the Oslo Rep, Florida Studio Theater, West Coast Black Theater, Urbanite. They're amazing. There are so many brilliant and vibrant arts organizations here in this community. It's quite rich with talent and support for that space.
So one of the lovely viewers in Canada asks, how is it funded? How does it operate? How do you actually do the things that you do?
It's a good question. And actually, I'm going to answer that with a little bit of a tangent and then coming back to the direct answer. One thing I didn't mention: every single artist who comes through does some kind of community give back program. And that's meant to be a safe space that's beneficial to them and a sneak peek for our community. We always tell the artists, you're not going to be in front of critics or the New York Times. And a lot of these artists aren't performers by trade, they're creators. And so we say, what's going to be helpful to you? Is it reading a piece of your new work? Is it getting some actors together to experiment with something you're doing in theater? Is it an open studio where you can get some feedback? Or is it a school visit where we can facilitate that educational opportunity? So we try to make it that they're not here having that pressure to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to deliver a performance. And I think you get a unique sneak peek into the process that way. And I bring that up because all of those programs are free and accessible to members of the community, and now also a number of them virtually. So we are not revenue driven in a traditional model. We are entirely dependent on the support of our donors as well as foundations and grant organizations. So we really do try to make the case for how we're supporting artists at that stage when it's not revenue generating. We don't have a box office per se. So we really do have to inspire our supporters, and our supporters come from around the world, truly. I mean, we have a number, of course, in Sarasota who are here believing in us and investing us as a member of the community, but people in major arts hubs, New York, Chicago, LA, London, elsewhere, recognize what this place is doing for artists and for the artistic landscape at large. And so they're also supporting, and always tell people you can go to our website, my shameless plug, and support the Hermitage if you'd like. We always appreciate it.
That is fantastic, Andy. I know it's really exciting, isn't it, to be a part of such a revered organization that really helps people and really fosters creativity in such a beautiful way?
It is. And, this past year has been particularly inspiring in that regard, because despite all the challenges, we were able to, based on where we are geographically and with the weather, we were able to find safe ways to start gathering and socially distanced performing and presenting as early as the fall. And every single artist we've had since then, and I think we've had something like 40 or 50 unique individual programs since then, has said, oh my gosh, this is my first time in front of a live audience. And there is an emotional and cathartic experience that both the artists and the audience share. And we've seen this over and over again. And the acknowledgement of how much maybe a lot of us have taken that for granted, all of us sort of arts junkies out there, as I'm sure a lot of your lovely crowd are fellow arts junkies. We, we all go to things, and I'll admit I've seen so many things and I forget what I saw the night before.
Right.
I've remembered every single one of these programs vividly, and they weren't all necessarily my obvious aesthetic. I always tell people it's a completely different program from one to the next. So if you came and you saw this brilliant composer and you loved that, and you say, oh, I'm coming back, great, come back, it won't be that. You're going to see an amazing poet, delivering their work and talking about their process, or you're going to see a playwright experimenting with kind of edgier new work. So it really is, not everything's for everyone, but the experience and the feedback we get on that has just been overwhelmingly appreciative in a way that I think, particularly since organizations that are more dependent on production values have not been able to, unfortunately, present in the way they're used to. They have not been able to gather 600 people shoulder to shoulder in an indoor space, or build that $1 million set indoors that people expect. And I think our community has been particularly resilient and creative and finding ways around the challenges. But it's been exciting to see that communal sharing element of what's happening here. So yes, it is really exciting to be part of that. And I have to step back amidst all the work and make sure that I'm taking those times to sit down with the artists, and just, those are the coolest moments, hearing about what they're working on, sharing ideas and thoughts.
Well, in a way, it's a very cool experience for them and a very cool experience for you, because of almost like a full circle in a way, coming from being, right there in the thick of it on the front lines, producing, directing, being involved in the creation of projects, the investment in projects, as a multi-winning, Tony-winning producer, director. And now here you are, and you're, with artists from all different backgrounds who are creating and visualizing and dreaming and brainstorming. And how has that changed anything for you, deepened anything for you, enriched any of this whole experience of the arts for you, having had and continuing to have that, incredible experience in New York and London and everywhere else, and then now being there in Florida and sort of being almost on the in the infancy, ground floor, grassroots level of some of this creativity?
It's a great question. I think I've always been an appreciator of other art forms, but I have lived squarely in the theater or theater adjacent with film and television spaces. But art is all storytelling, and that has always been what it comes down to for me. And so to be able to swap stories and ideas with people working in different mediums, I'm getting to, on a personal level, experience a different diversity of backgrounds and stories and art forms and narratives, learning to appreciate, literature and poetry in a different way, learning to appreciate visual art or opera in a different way. These are mediums that I have kind of admired from, adjacent to the theater world, but now I'm really entrenched in all of them and getting to interact with artists who, it's fun to explore what are some of the shared experiences that all artists are having, and where those vary. So I really think I've just gotten to learn and appreciate more how these different art forms all infuse one another and inspire one another. And that's, I think, one of the coolest things about this kind of multi-hyphenate cross-disciplinary space. So I've been a multi-hyphenate within one world, but there's so many other hyphens out there with talents and skills that I wouldn't even begin to tackle, but have learned to understand and appreciate with a new set of eyes.
How did you get involved initially, as a youth in the theater, in the arts, growing up in New York? What were some of those first, tickling the ivory moments for you and sources of inspiration? Did it come from the family? Were you the breakout person? Tell us a little bit about your own background early on that fostered this wonderful career of yours.
Yeah, so I grew up in New York. I was fortunate to be one of those freaks born and raised in Manhattan. And, so my mother took me to shows at a young age. She had years ago been an actor and performer herself, though not during my lifetime, and had a number of friends connected to that world. And so she would take me to everything. I think somewhere after that, she started to regret that and wondered if she gave me the bug for it. And, instead of encouraging me to go to law school or med school. I discovered I loved performing. I started performing at a young age. I started singing at a young age. And I went to an all-boys school, and I ended up, therefore, getting asked to do theater at all these different all-girls schools. So I was always kind of juggling 4 different shows at a time in that kind of freakish way, even when I was 15, 16 years old. And because I went to a small school, I was fortunate to say that I wanted to direct, which is not something you often get to do in high school. And right. I sort of lobbied the administration, if you will, at a young age, and kind of created my own sense of a curriculum around what that would mean. And they gave me a chance. I raised the money through the bake sale and to direct my own plays, and really tried to get all my classmates involved. So I've always been kind of a lover of the process of putting it together as well as presenting and performing it. And, in high school, I was wearing all the hats at once sometimes. I was directing, writing, acting, and doing it all. And I went to undergrad at Yale.
As you can see, I'm still wearing the hats.
Yes, I love it. Very nice.
Yale, yes.
I went up to undergrad at Yale, studied English and theater. And while I loved my academic experience, I say my real education was that I did 40 plus extracurricular productions in one hat or another. Plus I performed with and toured with and managed my 2 a cappella groups. So I kind of got the experience of managing and running a group. And what a lot of people, I think, don't realize at a place like Yale that they think of as a vibrant theater space, it is, but it's actually all student run. None of these plays had faculty supervisors, none of the a cappella groups. We were our own independent 501c3 nonprofit. So I got kind of a real world experience within the bubble of that. And I wanted to keep coming back to New York to do for a living what I did extracurricularly up there. And I did. I came back, and not always wearing all the hats at once in the real world, but acting, directing, writing, producing.
What would you consider the very first big break, the one that really, took you from this level to that level because of being involved in that production, whether being the actor or being the producer, whatever it may be?
It's very hard to pinpoint that, so I'll hit it with a few answers. I suppose one of the groups, the a cappella groups I mentioned, was the Whiffenpoofs, and that was an all-senior group and kind of a unique model in that, again, it's its own nonprofit institution made up of people who are only members for a year. So you start with a budget of 0. We raised and spent $500,000 in a year and then passed it off. It was a lot of work, but I got to be kind of my first time being CEO and COO and all of the things, as well as performing and touring. And that was at age 21. So there's no other training ground like that. And I think it made me go, well, I enjoy a cappella to some extent, but what I really loved was theater. And if I could put that together in figuring out how to tour and fundraise for that, I certainly figured I could find a way to do that with theater. In terms of, it's tricky. I mean, Hair was a great opportunity, but, I can't claim all the credit for Hair. That started as a concert production with the Public Theater, and others were involved. I was grateful to have an opportunity to be involved as a producer and to really kind of get in early and moving it to the Broadway production. And it was an amazing experience. And I loved, the doors that opened, particularly when it started getting recognition. that was fantastic. But I also was assisting Hal Prince a couple of years before on Love Music and producing for him on Paradise Found. So
were you pinching yourself then?
I was. I had written a thesis on him. He was always my idol as this kind of iconic director and producer and theater maker of new works. And two of my favorite all-time shows were Parade and Sweeney Todd. So to get to assist him and then to have him ask me to help him as a producer was an amazing, the shows, neither of them were particular hits, but they were incredible experiences. And and then there was a show that I suppose was my first kind of bigger production as a director, though it was polarizing. Not everyone loved it. Was a show called The Last Smoker in America. Mm-hmm. Which was a small off-Broadway musical, not so small actually once we got it going at the West Side Theater. And that was something I spent 6 years developing as a director and producer, working with Bill Russell, who did Sideshow, and Peter Melnick, who wrote the music to Adrift in Macau and other things as well. So it was a great cast, a great experience. Like I said, a show that it was an irreverent show. The critics either loved it or hated it. And I think that was true of the audiences too, but we were proud of what we put out in the world. And it was just such a great learning experience to go through that process. Because at the time I got involved, it was still just a kind of 10-minute concept piece. And I got to kind of see it every step of the journey and help drive that forward to where it landed.
That's incredible. That's really incredible. That's a great, trajectory there that you followed, and you've stayed true to what you wanted to do, which I think is amazing. Which when we do that, sometimes the gravy, not that we necessarily do the things we do for the gravy or the icing on the cake, but then sometimes those who are the consumers of our creativity and or those who are our peers working in the same industry, recognizing the blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice that goes into all of that, then sometimes they reward us. How's that for an introduction and a segue?
There you go. Yes, I definitely was embracing the longer hair tied to the production.
Looks good. Tell us about this very special night and just what this experience has been like when you heard that those names called.
Yeah, no, I mean, Hair was an incredible experience from the outset. I mean, I had kind of a unique path in terms of how I got involved. Will Swenson, who was one of the lead actors in it playing Berger, he had become a friend and someone who had been in a couple projects I was assistant directing, and then some things he did some table reads of things I directed, and such a great guy. And he said, oh, we're doing this at Central Park, come check it out. And, they're probably looking for producers. I know you're starting to do that. And I saw it and I loved it. And I loved that it hit every generation. And for me as a director, it's very hard for me, I think, sometimes to objectively fall in love and appreciate and admire a director's work so much. And I think what Diane Paulus had done in terms of how she honored but crafted and rethought that show was quite brilliant. And, she was really a driving creative force behind that. And to get the chance to work with the creators, Galt and Jim Rado and everyone at the Public and Jeff Richards and others on the producing team, I really got to meet a lot of amazing people. And some of those actors, I think I was, the youngest on the team. So these actors were friends and contemporaries of mine. And they're still some of my closest friends, people from that company. I was just talking with Gavin Creel the other day and catching up, and they're just really amazing talents, and everyone was so committed. There's just sometimes a spark or a magic around a process where there's no ego, there's no cutthroatness, there's no industry drama. It was so, the band, the crew, the cast, there was a level of synergy there that was really remarkable. So the Tony Award night was great. But to be honest, every night was great. I was at that show and we were showing up. I would see another show and I'd catch the end of Hair and go dance on stage with the cast. And I probably saw that show more than any other that I've ever worked on. And every night was different because there was sort of an organic free-flowingness to it. I mean, safely, but there was still elements of surprise. And I've just never seen an audience celebrate in that way. And man, we could all have used that all this past year for sure. So it was pretty remarkable.
Absolutely, absolutely. When the pandemic hit, what were you doing? Did anything that you were involved in come to a halt or pause? Whether
Yes,
it's yeah,
of course, sadly, but
a lot of people, yeah.
yeah. So I had just started a couple months earlier officially at the Hermitage. You know, my official start date was January 1, and I had a pre-existing opportunity to direct a production of How to Succeed over at the Maltz Jupiter Theater. Just a coincidence of Florida, the other coast entirely unrelated, but a wonderful theater. And this was a huge production, and we had an amazing cast and company, another one of those just great energies and vibes around it all. And we, we're watching this all unfold, and here we were down in Florida, of course, our government being the last to kind of make decisions on it in some ways, but trying to see how long it was going to eke out. And we made it to final dress rehearsal. And the morning of first preview, we were told it wasn't going to happen. And, of course, like everyone then, we thought it was, it's a 2-week delay. And then it's going to be a couple months. And then we'll be the first thing in the fall. And then it became clear this was kind of a never-ending cycle. So it's still somehow in the ether and on the docket there. And, the production is built. It's beautiful. But it was heartbreaking. But I think our story was difficult, but less sad than many others who, had other dreams kind of shattered too. And on a selfish level, I was fortunate to be able to come back to the Hermitage. I was able to drive, 3.5 hours away and come back to kind of my home and space there. And it quickly became, okay, what do we need to do in terms of safety and health as just took a new level of priority. It's always a consideration, but becomes a whole new angle from which you look at it. And then how do we find a way back? That really was our question. We looked at not how do we sort of cut our losses, but how do we get back? How do we get back to live? How do we get back to supporting artists? Because if productions are on hold, artists are suffering everywhere. And what we're doing is even more important in supporting them in that way. And anyone who came, a lot had reservations about travel or how to get there, but every single one have said some variation of, thank you for finding a way to stay open. Thank you for finding a way not to cancel. We actually have a program over the summer of teaching artists, and this group of teaching artists were some of the first back, and they were all worried about, a lot of them are parents too. They said, I don't know if I'm ready to go back to class, even if my district tells me to. I don't know if I'm ready to send my kids back, but you guys found a safe way to do this, and that means the world to us. So thank you. And that's, really heartwarming. So yes, we've had our challenges and heartbreaks, but that was also one of the things that we could and tried to give back and are still trying to do in that way.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful, Andy. Speaking of the Hermitage, we have some wonderful video here that we want to share, showing off the wonderful place, magical place that it is. And we'll show this, and then we'll come back and chat a little bit more about it. I think everybody's going to really, really enjoy this, folks. We're going to take you to Florida now, to the Sarasota area here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Welcome everybody all around the world. Andy Sandberg is our very special guest, Tony-winning producer, CEO, and artistic director, Hermitage. And we're talking about this wonderful artist retreat in Florida. Here's a little bit about it. You're going to enjoy it, and then we'll be back.
So to have uninterrupted time in a place, to make work, of course, but also to reflect on what you've done, and to be critical of yourself and of what you've been doing, but to do it in a kind of environment where you have the expanse of the ocean. You also have the expanse of time and of being left entirely alone. It's life-changing. And it's not just inspiring, it's actually, I think it needs to be part of the well-being of all artists.
The Hermitage is a cross-disciplinary artist retreat. So we invite people from all walks of art. That's visual art, music, theater, poetry, novelists. We have a real plethora of talents that pass through this incredible campus.
That giving artists the space, both physical and emotional space to actually create and to dive deeper into work. Without the interruptions of our everyday schedules and responsibilities is incredibly important, so that we are in this where we are in this alignment with our creative practice that isn't interrupted. And I feel that spaces like the Hermitage Artist Retreat is perfect in the sense that it's so vast and expansive.
Immediately, one of the important aspects of places like the Hermitage is during a time of COVID, for one, it gives you an isolated place to get some focused and inspirational work done.
I came to the Hermitage Artist Retreat as a gift in a lot of ways for my career from the Aspen Music Festival in school. I get to spend 6 weeks here over a 2-year period. And it's kind of unique in that I get to divide it up however I want.
The Hermitage is about 9 acres. There is the historic campus with 5 buildings for the artists to do their work. There's something more to this place than just a building. There's feeling and spirit here that people catch right away.
قال لي يا فتى ضاقت بك الحيل.
Hi, I'm Courtney J Boddy. I am Vice President Education and School Engagement at the New 42 New Victory Theater, located in Times Square. I'm an artist who focuses on theater making. I'm also a teaching artist, an arts administrator. The model that Hermitage has created of being able to offer an artist multiple stretches of time, or a large stretch of time that can be cut up in how they need, for free. Here, have a place to live, have a beach to walk on, have a place to work, be well taken care of, be fed at times. That's a huge gift.
How can you beat that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is really, really something. And you could see the passion with everybody. They really love being there and being a part of that community, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, you've heard from about 5 or 6 of our now nearly 500 alumni. And I think those last couple of shots showed you a couple of samples of kind of how we've been doing these outdoor socially distanced programs and how we're able to sort of do that safely. And thanks to the audience for cooperating with that too. But yeah, the artists, they all have a unique experience. But one thing we just hear consistently is, you know, when I first got here, I started calling a number of alums and getting to know them. And anytime I called, oh, the Hermitage, oh my gosh, that was my favorite time in life. You know, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And this was coming from Pulitzer winners sometimes, as well as people who had, you know, major projects in the works. So people of all levels and backgrounds.
Which is amazing. We have another quick video we would love to show everybody so they get a real understanding of what this facility really is all about. And we'll take a look at this, Andy, and then we'll be back to chat a little bit more about it all. And this is terrific. I love this video. Let's take a look at this, folks. Enjoy, and we'll be back.
Well, it's so important for artists to be able to have time to reflect and to also go inward, because so much of our work is about putting out. So to have uninterrupted time in a place to make work, of course, but also to reflect on what you've done and to be critical of yourself and of what you've been doing, but to do it in a kind of environment where you have the expanse of the ocean. You also have the expanse of time and of being left entirely alone. It's life-changing, and it's not just inspiring. It's actually, I think it needs to be part of the well-being of all artists.
The Hermitage is a cross-disciplinary artist retreat. So we invite people from all walks of art. That's visual art, music, theater, poetry, novelists. We have a real plethora of talents that pass through this incredible campus.
The Hermitage is about 9 acres. There is the historic campus with 5 buildings for the artists to do their work. And then adjacent to that is a preserve, which is natural land, which we're taking back to how it was 100 years ago. There's something more to this place than just a building. There's feeling and spirit here that people catch right away.
My real love is asking the question, what will our cultural traditions of the future be? And how can I, as a flutist in this lifetime, advance those traditions and experiment with them and push them beyond what we know? And so for that reason, I am passionate about creating a new body of work. So I'm working right now, and this week here at the Hermitage Artist Residency, I'm in the year 7 of a 23-year project. And each year I create a new program of solo flute music.
Most of my prose books have taken me to different parts of the world, but this one is set in this country. It's a biography of Roger Williams, the very famous Puritan divine who gave us the whole notion of the liberty of conscience and the separation of church and state. He also happened to be my first relative in the New World, so it's a kind of homecoming for me to write this book.
I came to the Hermitage Artist Retreat as a gift in a lot of ways for my career from the Aspen Music Festival in school. I get to spend 6 weeks here over a 2-year period. And it's kind of unique in that I get to divide it up however I want. I actually did 2 weeks in May of 2019, and now I'm here for the whole first 4 weeks of 2020.
Well, one of the really cool things about this place is that you can kind of have the best of both worlds in terms of being solitary, but you can also come here to the main house and cook a meal and do a studio visit, see what other people are working on. There's no curation of those encounters. Like, those just happen. And I think because they're so open, because they're so organic, often you get a bunch of creative people in the room, and of course they start hatching projects.
Today I found myself in a conversation with Sid, our composer, and noting the sheer number of correspondences between what a composer does and what a writer does. We're working the same fields, but with in a different medium.
The only similar experience we want our artists to have is that they feel that they have had a chance to breathe and elevate their work and move themselves or their work forward as artists. We hear over and over from artists that they accomplish more in 2 weeks than they might in 2 years. But we want them to all feel that they are entering a magical haven here on this Hermitage campus, and also by participating in the community give back programs, that they're really building a connection with Sarasota County.
So when I was negotiating with the county government for this land and these old dilapidated houses, they said, well, these writers and composers and visual artists are going to be there, make their art and leave. What are they going to do for the people of Sarasota County? And I said, they will all do something free in the community. And that started the tradition of free performances. Usually it's here on the beach at sunset or in our beautiful performing arts space, the Palm House. I can't tell you how many times I get the same story. They'll say, I was stuck on this scene in a play. I took a walk. I found some shark's teeth. I came back. I sat down at my desk and the answer came to me.
Our lives are so busy back in the real world, and to be able to carve out a vision of the book I'm trying to write, it's absolutely invaluable.
We have had 9 Pulitzer Prize winners here, plus Emmy, Grammy, Tony Award winners.
The seedling and the DNA of the work that is created here goes on elsewhere. There are so many works out there at major concert halls, theaters, galleries around the world that would not have existed if they did not have that germ of an idea right here at the Hermitage.
For more information, visit hermitageartistretreat.org.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. That was a nice little bit more extended look at this retreat. And it's really a blessed place, isn't it?
It truly is extraordinary and unique. And I think the grounds, as you kind of got a little bit of a flavor of there, are just so beautiful and different than you might even think of in other parts of Florida. I think Florida has a little bit of a stigma to those of us from elsewhere sometimes, what you hear about it, but we're this really cool oasis, both in terms of the environment and the property and what's going on here. We're this little oasis within an island within Florida, and there's a kind of haven of creativity happening here. And, in addition to our mission of supporting artists and their creative process, we're also about preserving the land, both the ecosystem and the historic properties. That's part of our responsibility to the county, being here in this public-private partnership with the land, so that we're kind of the stewards of that. A lot of people assume that Sarasota's taken care of all of that for us, but we're actually the ones who do the upkeep of the grounds as well as the buildings. So I've learned more about historic preservation and maintenance than I ever thought I would, being someone who's grown up in a bunch of little New York rental apartments.
Exactly. Lawns that need to be mowed and gardens that needed to be weeded. Yes, absolutely. I just want to show you some of the feedback, and our lovely viewers have been commenting all throughout, and they've already dubbed you, as I told you before the show was going to happen. You're now a Lovity on the Jim Master Show Live, Andy. So I know there's Tony Awards and Emmys and Grammys and Tellys and Oscars, but when you're dubbed a Lovity, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
I'd say so. I'm happy to add that to the list. Thank you.
Willie is watching in Holland. She says, very interesting. Juanita's in South Africa. What a beautiful space. Anne is up the road a piece from you. She's in Jacksonville, Florida. That's such a beautiful setting. Christine Clifton's in North Carolina. Wow, you all provide such a beautiful and peaceful atmosphere for the artists to create and connect with other artists. Jennifer Barry is in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She says, wow, that's good, magical. And Merlin Canada had asked, what is the criteria to go to the retreat? Is there a prerequisite? What do you have to do if you want to be a part of it?
It's a good question, because it's not an open application process. The residencies are curated by the Curatorial Council. So it's actually a little bit of a gift from the sky. There are a couple of application-based programs that unfortunately I don't think our Canadian friends would be eligible for. We have both a teaching artist program for Florida State teaching artists. So every summer we bring in teaching artists who are selected by the Florida State Arts and Education Department in different disciplines. So that is an application-based program, as well as we have one called the John Ringling Towers program for Gulf Coast and Sarasota artists. We wanted to also figure out bringing in people from everywhere. One of the questions that came up early on is, what are you going to do for the local talent? And so we have that program that's run by the Arts and Cultural Alliance here in Sarasota. But everything else, keep doing great work. That's, and the right people will eventually notice. I know that sounds cryptic, but actually I think one of the things about there are a lot of application-based programs out there, and they're wonderful, but you get a lot of the same people applying to the same programs, and it's same circles of artists and academics who learn about the same things. A lot of our artists would not necessarily have that on their radar, and they get sort of chosen for having their finger on the pulse of something. And in a way, I think that process is what's led to us having such a diverse group of artists, because it hasn't always been about the same core group of brilliant people, but who know that sort of inner circle of what to apply for and how to look up the right industry tricks.
That's really, really cool. Give us the website so people can check it out if they want to learn more, Andy.
Absolutely. It is www.hermitageartistretreat.org. That's artist singular, retreat singular. So hermitageartistretreat.org. You can check out all of our programs for anyone who's in the area or visiting. We always post them there, and you can register and sign up for any program there. Some of them are virtual too. We do live stream on occasion, as well as having some other virtual specific programs lately. That we're trying to do more and more live. So check that out. Also ways to get involved as a supporter, or just keep up with what we're doing, or read more about some of our alumni. So please do check it out there.
HermitageArtistRetreat.org. That's fantastic. And for you personally, what continues to bring you great blessing and joy in your life and inspiration to be involved and continue to be involved in the creative community as you have been and continue to be, my friend, all these years?
I think it is to the chance to sort of continue to create in my own right, sure, but also to be able to support that larger process. That's really being able to know that I'm having a hand in driving that with our amazing staff and team, and everyone in the Hermitage family and team are just so committed to really pushing this forward in every art form. So I look forward to being back in a rehearsal room as well, but to be able to provide live arts and cultural experiences in a safe way, and to be finding a way to kind of give artists that creative mindset and space is rewarding. And it's honestly just been a creative challenge to figure out how to do that too. So that's been kind of its own, people ask, do you feel like you're in kind of admin mode? And sure, there are times, but frankly, I think this has been a really creative and thoughtful year. We're always kind of on the edge of a pin trying to figure out how to pivot.
Exactly. And there we go. There's the website there, hermitageartistretreat.org, everybody. And we'll show that again during the course of the remainder of our show. Andy, I know you've got to go, a very, very busy day. We will have you back. I'd love to have you back. We can chat a little bit more about some of your other experiences, and keep us posted on the cool things that are happening there at the retreat, as well as, in your own professional life separate from the retreat, because I know you have your hands in theater and your hands in performance in the thick of it, which is absolutely beautiful. And I know you love everything that you do, and it brings you great blessing. And it's not too shabby when you get a chance to do some of that as well, correct?
I see manatees out there almost every other day. I have the best commute. I don't have photos of my 2 a.m. evening commutes. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening. But, I am in the best place for that creative inspiration. But I look forward to being able to kind of be back and forth to New York a bit more, too, and to see some of these other projects driving ahead as well.
Well, this is awesome, my friend. And you know who was here with us as well? He's sort of the sidekick on the Jim Masters Show, a live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. George Burns was with us this afternoon, and he sends his regards.
Hello, George Burns.
You can't go wrong with George Burns, right?
R.I.P.
That's it. Andy, this was great. Thanks for spending all this time with us. I know you got to scoot off, but we'll welcome you back. And I hope the show met whatever expectations that you had, and that you enjoyed the time with me and with us as much as I certainly have with you, my friend.
I have, yes. And thank you so much for inviting me on. And hello to everyone out there, and appreciate all of your kind comments and lovely questions. I'm catching up on the ones I haven't seen yet. And thank you for having me, and thank you for learning a little bit more about what we do at the Hermitage, and hope it gave you all a smile for the day.
Absolutely. Kathy in Cleveland says, thank you, Andy, for the interesting chat. And good that Kathy is here, and interesting conversation. Thank you, Andy, for sharing your time, telling us more about the Hermitage. And Willie says, Andy, will you come back? Yes, we'll have him back. And Jennifer Barry in Pennsylvania, thanks for spending time with us, Andy. Come back. We're going to really keep that porch light on for you, my friend. Thank you, Lovety Andy, for spending time with us. Gary's in Iowa. Merlin in Canada says, been a pleasure as well. Hopefully, you and I will get together, break bread, whether it's in New York or there in Florida. I would love to do that. It would be a pleasure, Andy. Mary says, great show. Thank you, Mary. Love having you here as well. And smiles from Merlin as well. Andy, again, thanks for being with us. Real pleasure. And here's another one, Christine in North Carolina. Andy, thanks for sharing more about the Hermitage Artist Retreat. It's fabulous to know such a place exists for artists. Thanks for providing such a space to create and connect. She's in North Carolina. In Connecticut, thank you, Andy, for an inspiring conversation. Continue to spread the word about your talented artists. God bless you. Crystal is wonderful. She met when I was emceeing a concert for PBS, and it was a Chicago concert, and she was there. And she says, Jim, I see you on PBS all the time. Hello. She's a wonderful person. Andy, thank you for your stories. Willie watching in Holland. All right, Andy, thanks again. You are amazing. Hopefully, again, we will break bread in person and keep you posted on everything you're doing. Wish you continued success with everything and the best of health. And
likewise, and I look forward to catching more of the shows, and congrats on everything you've got going. And I know everyone's in store for some more great guests.
I appreciate that, my friend. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show Live. We'd appreciate that. You have a good day, and we'll chat again soon. Okay, Andy?
You too. Bye-bye. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye now. Andy Sandberg, CEO and Artistic Director of the Hermitage Artist Retreat. If you missed any of the videos that we showed some really cool videos that really show off this beautiful place in the Sarasota area there in Inglewood, Florida, which is part of Sarasota County. Mary Bishop watching in Florida, Pine Island, Florida to be exact. Thanks, Andy, and take care. So there you got a chance maybe to learn about something here on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series that perhaps you didn't get a chance to know about previously. Maybe you know Andy and some of his work, but now you got an understanding of why he loves doing what he does and has for a long time. And we went back in time to his youth a little bit, and then of course his education at Yale, and then some of the amazing productions he's been involved in throughout the years in New York, London, the West End, and more. And there he is there in beautiful Florida, heading up the Hermitage Artist Retreat. It really is a beautiful place, literally on the water there in Sarasota County. And I know people who have sort of passed through there and have had nothing but extraordinary things to say about it. And I think it's just really cool when there's places like that set aside for artists and those who are creators. There is that website again. It's hermitageartistretreat.org if you'd like to learn more about this incredible facility. And of course, we would love it if you subscribe to Jim Masters TV, which is our daily live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We do 7 days a week. We have another show coming up in just a couple of hours. Hollywood legendary actress Lee Purcell is going to be with us live from Los Angeles. That's going to be amazing. And again, we have over 400 episodes plus of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series available for all of your binge watching enjoyment on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So we would love it. And it really does help the series and the show and helps us continue to bring you the content when you subscribe to Jim Masters TV on YouTube and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the amazing live episodes, additional content on the channel, surprises, and more. Because in addition to amazing guests, we also go on location. We do host chat, lovely chat episodes. We've done food episodes. We've done a whole celebration of St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, so much more. We've got our big 1-year anniversary show that is coming up soon as well. We're working on that and so much more. See you later. Absolutely, Merlin. We'll be here. We'll grab something to eat in between, and we'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live with actress Lee Purcell. She's Emmy-nominated actress Lee Purcell. Thanks, Andy and Jim. Kathleen, thank you for joining us as well. Love having all of you here. Don't forget, we've got a new Facebook group for the show, which is JMS Live Lovity Hall. That's right. And again, you can find me on all the usual suspect places, Jim Masters TV on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Twitch and Periscope as well. We're going to scoot out, gang, because we have another show coming up in just a couple of hours. We toast you with our Mr. Rogers mug. I was given this from colleagues at PBS. We have certainly raised a lot of funding over the years for public television programming, including the wonderful Mr. Rogers. This one's cool. I don't have anything warm to put in it right now. We just have some water in it. But when you dip something of a warmer liquid in it, the suit coat turns into one of his cardigan sweaters. It's really cool. And it has all of the different sayings, actually, that Mr. Rogers was known for. And it comes in a special box and everything. And this was as King Friday. This was gifted to me by colleagues at PBS, public television. And Mr. Rogers. Can't go wrong with little Mr. Rogers, right? So we toast you. Usually we do this in the beginning of the show. We toast you and you and you and you. And we thank you very much for joining us here on this afternoon episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, there is the website for the Hermitage Artist Retreat. There it is, hermitageartistretreat.org. Our website, or at least the home to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Subscribe to it. We would love that as well. And hope you guys are doing well. We're doing well, as I mentioned earlier at the top of the show. This is the third day. This is the third day since I had the COVID-19 vaccine. And we're doing well, doing well. I would just say maybe the day after, some aches, pains, a little bit, not really pains, more achy, fatigue, tired, which means that the vaccine's really working. And the second day, which was actually yesterday, and we were live on the air yesterday, a little of that. And today, really nothing. And, doing well. Everything is great. So we are fully vaccinated now and very excited about that because we want to be able to travel. And we're still going to be doing what we do with masks and social distancing until, we don't have to, but we're going to be extra careful because not everybody's vaccinated. And we want to make sure that our loved ones and friends and colleagues are safe and sound, and everybody do what they want to do and what they need to do for themselves. That's just what we decided to do for us. I love Fred Rogers. Isn't he great? You have a good day too, Kathleen. We'll see you a little bit later. And Kathy Short's heading to the kitchen while watching the Tribe play baseball. See you all later. Absolutely. Jennifer Barry, Allentown, Pennsylvania, thank you for bringing awesome people to us. Without you, we might not get to meet your guests. Humbled and thankful for all you do for all of us. My pleasure. We'll see you later on. 7 o'clock we'll be here. His mother made his sweaters for him. That is Fred Rogers. Yes, that's right. Absolutely, Gary. Mets fan. Such a lovely place. Thanks, Jim. I need to go to a retreat for tired moms whose ears are bleeding. Yeah, I don't doubt that. That's Juanita in South Africa. This was an interesting conversation with Andy. Enjoyed learning more about Hermitage Artist Retreat. Glad you are already feeling better. See you soon for Double Lovity. Absolutely. We will be here. I just want to show you guys, and thanks for the good wishes, Christine, the amazing weekend we have. Lee Purcell is joining me in just a couple of hours at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific tonight, live from Hollywood. Then tomorrow, Ryan Kelly, live from Ireland. He is going to be here from Celtic Thunder and Vernon Kelly. And then tomorrow night, the incredibly funny comedy legend Judy Tenuta is here. And we're really, really looking forward to that. And then on Monday, live, we have Angela Beccari, legendary singer and performer, along with, joining her, Nicholas King. That's right, another extraordinary singer and performer, Nicholas King and Angela Beccari are going to be with us live this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Jim Masters Show live. Then on Tuesday, Grammy-winning composer Lindsey Jones is with us live. Wednesday, renowned mentalist and magician and escape artist Michael Lee is going to be with us. Then on Thursday, award-winning author Calvin Fisher is going to be here with an extraordinary book that he's going to tell us about. Actually, next week, I might have switched the days around here, but Grant Mcdermott is going to be here. He's a wonderful playwright, and he is a wonderful singer. He's here on Tuesday. I think we skipped over Tuesday, didn't we? So we have Angela Beccari here on Monday with Nicholas King. Then on Tuesday, award-winning playwright and actor Grant Mcdermott is going to be here live. That is on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Lindsey here. Lindsey is going to be with us. Lindsey Jones, wonderful composer. Then on Thursday, Michael Lee is going to be here, mentalist as well as magician and escape artist. And then on Friday, Calvin Fisher is going to be here, an incredible author with this riveting new book that we're going to tell you about when he comes on the show. Next weekend, the High Kings are going to be with us as well. That's really exciting. We're looking forward to that. Upcoming shows, tennis star and ESPN's Patrick McEnroe is going to be with us. Brother of John McEnroe, who's another, of course, well-known tennis star. Lisa Kelly is going to be joining us soon, from originally from Celtic Woman, wonderful Irish soprano and vocal teacher. Nathan Pacheco, who I interviewed many times on public television as well, is going to be with us. He's from America, but he has a Brazilian blood in him, and he is an incredible singer and songwriter. And the last time we saw each other, I was emceeing a concert in New York City at Carnegie Hall, and Nathan was there, and we caught up with each other, and I invited him to hop on the show, and we look forward to having him here coming real soon, just a couple of weeks. So we thank Andy again for joining us, Andy Sandberg. And he's got a very busy day today, so we wanted to make sure we got him in. And there is, again, the website if you would like to learn more about the Hermitage Artist Retreat. We thank Andy for joining us. And, of course, we thank all of you for joining us as well. As we say on the show, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the lovity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine, of course, as Andy said, he grew up in New York, as did I. He grew up in Manhattan. I grew up out east on Long Island by the water. And now we are here still along the coast here in New England, and just love the coast. That is the Atlantic. So that's a Zen place for me, is the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing it, walking it, floating in it, whatever it takes. We love it. And of course, time with loving family and friends is the most important Zen place. And my work over the years in television and radio and stage, on air, on camera, and behind the scenes. These are some of my other Zen places. Make sure you do what you love and love what you do. That's right. Do what you love and love what you do. Jennifer Barry says, can't wait for tonight and tomorrow. So good to be back. Love Jim and his show. Thank you, Jennifer. We love you back. Kathleen says, have a good day. See you later. Thank you very much. Juanita will be here from South Africa. Thanks. We look forward to having you back with us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Jim Masters Show Live is here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific generally. And sometimes, like today with this show at 3 p.m. Eastern, we do some special bonus episodes to accommodate our guests and also to give you some more levity, some more entertainment, more inspiring conversations, and more levity. But generally, we're here daily, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And again, we have a Facebook group as well. That is JMS Live Levity Hall. Everybody's welcome to that. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. And if you have a suggestion for a guest that you would like to see on the show, you can contact the show. And that's very easy to do just by sending an email to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. If you have an idea for some additional potential guests, we are pretty much booked all the way into June, which is amazing considering right now it's only mid-April. with guests all the way till June, 7 days a week, sometimes 2 on a particular day like today and 2 tomorrow. But also we are collecting videos, folks. We are collecting videos for our 1-year anniversary show coming up in early May. So if you'd like to make a video on your phone or your computer, whatever it may be, and you'd like to tell us why you love the Jim Masters Show Live, make a quick video. It doesn't have to be something that is Oscar worthy. It could be just something fun on your phone or on your tablet, computer, whatever it is. And you can send it right there to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. And we will show it on our anniversary episode. That's right. We will show the guest videos from our guests as well as from our faithful Lovity viewers on our anniversary episode. So again, just grab your phone or your computer and just in your camera, just make a quick video. And just, again, doesn't have to be edited and perfect. You can just do it raw and send it to us right there at jimmasterstv@gmail.com. We'd love to see them, and we can show them on our anniversary episode. And if you missed any of the episodes, you can see them all right there for you on the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And as we always say, and as we've been talking about beautiful Florida and the wonderful warm weather, don't forget to relax. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to love one another. We always say that. Don't forget to love one another. Love yourself. Breathe from the diaphragm. And don't forget to take care of yourself and be good to yourself and relax. We say this at the end of every episode of JMS Live. All right. So relax. Grab something to eat. We shall see you. I'm going to do the same thing, and we shall see all of you fantastic lovelies. We love you all. Thanks for sharing and tagging, telling everybody about the war, tell the whole world, actually, everything you've been doing, liking and commenting on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to like this video on YouTube. Click like. If you want to post a comment, if you love it, feel free to let us know. YouTube loves seeing that too. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And again, thanks for all of the tagging and the sharing of the links, all the wonderful warm messages you send on Instagram and Twitter and email and Facebook messages about the show and how much JMS Live really means to you. That means a lot to me, hosting and producing these daily episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. You are all the very best. We love you all. Sending you some lovity. If you're not having a good day, well, join us again at 7. We'll try to put more smiles on your face later on at 7 and on the Jim Masters Show Live. Everybody is welcome, regardless of your income, zip code, height, weight, religious views, political views, eye color. None of it matters. Everybody is welcome. Hello to you, Lily. Welcome. It's nice to see you here as well. Mary Bishop says, see you all later. Absolutely. And Jennifer Berry says, Jim, that would be awesome if you would do a Facebook pop-up show at the ocean. We might be doing that in Florida really soon. I can't say much, but that may be happening in the Sunshine State very soon, now that I'm fully vaccinated. All right, gang, we love you all. Thanks to Andy. Thanks to you, Jim. You have a new red light in the way back there. Cool. Actually, we've had that for about a month now. You're talking about way back in that corner there. You got a blue studio light and then the red light there tucking there and the green. Well, let's see. The green and the blue and the purple and the sort of the orange and the pinkish and this one is funky because regardless, this changes. It's the same color bulb, but sometimes it looks green like it does now. Sometimes it looks gray. Sometimes it looks blue and then some pink down there. It's actually blue, believe it or not, but sometimes with the lighting, it just changes. I think that's pretty cool, you know? And there's, let's see, right there is the plaque that Karen Campbell Green, one of our faithful lovities, had custom made. Karen Campbell Green, one of our lovity viewers from Nova Scotia, Canada. You see her pop up. This is one of the things she gifted us. And it says, welcome to Lovity Hall, spread the lovity. And it was made by an artist in Nova Scotia, Canada. And we were looking where to fit it on our set. And we said, let's put it right in front of the acoustic guitar. And there it is. That is from Karen, one of our lovely viewers. And we thank her. We thank all of you for the cards and the gifts and the beautiful things that you guys do. So we will duck out for a little bit. And you guys have a good day. And we love you all. And we shall see you I know goodbye is, parting is such sweet sorrow, right? We're not good at saying goodbye here on the show, so we never say goodbye. We say see you later on the Jim Masters Show Live. You guys be well. We'll see you in a couple of hours. Again, one more time, the wonderful Lee Purcell is going to be here. It's going to be amazing. Just show you some pictures here. Look, some really cool shots of Lee. We'll talk about some of these over the years. Just some previews there for you, some teases. But Lee is with us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. All right, gang, we're going to scoot out. Love you all. Thanks for watching the Jim Masters Show Live, JMS Live. Share this link. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and tell everybody about our series. We shall see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.